As Vice-Chancellor of the University, I declare this congregation open for the conferring of degrees by the authority of the Senate and the Council. I am delighted to welcome you all to this degree congregation. It is a celebration for all who graduate today. We celebrate your many achievements that culminate in the award of a degree from a major international research and teaching-led university. All degree ceremonies are special to the individuals who graduate. This is a special degree ceremony in several ways. First, it is part of the 80th anniversary celebrations, but it is also special to me as it is the first graduation of students I welcomed to the university 3 years ago when I joined the University of Leicester. Since then, we have changed in size. We are now a university of 18,500 students, just over 3,000 staff, and we have a turnover of £150 million. We are a complex organisation. We are a business that focuses upon higher education. During the time you have been in Leicester, the university has increased in intellectual stature. It is located in the top 20 universities in the UK for research and teaching. So look at it like this. Your degree is worth more than you could have expected 3 years ago. Indeed, it is in your interests to see the University of Leicester increase in stature in the coming years, and we hope that you will do all you can to promote the university. One of the highlights of our 80th anniversary year has been the inauguration of the Institute of Lifelong Learning by the Right Honourable Estelle Morris MP, Secretary of State for Education and Skills, when she referred to us as a role model for the higher education system. But you might ask, why should she say that? First, we are a research-intensive university contributing to the knowledge-based economy. We are in the top 10 universities in the UK for the research grant and contract income received for each full-time member of staff. Teaching is at the forefront of our activities and closely linked with research. It has also been regarded as excellent by all independent assessors who have visited 12 subject departments over the last 3 years. We are involved in widening access and widening participation, not just by engaging in debates about lifelong learning, but thinking about how we can attract people from different social groups to the university so that they may share in the success in which we are involved. We meet and exceed our benchmarks. We engage in 2-year foundation degrees, and in the coming year we are to start a further foundation degree in the field of health and illness, which could result in a period of study of up to 7 years whereby an individual eventually becomes a doctor. I think that's a great success. We are a major university that contributes to distance learning, as over 6,000 of our students are registered for distance learning courses. This allows all of you graduating today to come back to us and take another course. And just in case parents and friends are feeling excluded at this point, I can assure you that if you too wish to study a degree with the University of Leicester, you can sign up immediately after the degree ceremony and we can get you started by the beginning of next week. It means you could be back here very shortly for a degree ceremony of your own. But fundamental to everything that the University of Leicester does is all the people who work in the university. And I am sure that those of you in this degree congregation this afternoon would wish to join with me in conveying our good wishes to Professor John Beebe, Professor Ted Davis, Professor David Llewellyn-Jones, Professor Ken Pounds, and Professor Alan Wells, all from the Department of Physics, who have done a fantastic job for the university and who formally retire. I say formally because they all tell me they're going to be back in the labs next year, and that's terrific for the university. Formally retired this year, having served a total of 129 years in the university. Collectively, that is, of course, not individually. But what are the challenges for universities and for the University of Leicester? First, I think we need to continue to recruit high-quality students and to provide a high-quality experience for them. We need to continue to develop the contribution the university makes to the city and region through innovative activities. We need to develop new forms of learning based on electronic delivery. We need to develop our library physically and electronically, and I am sure those who graduate today will be delighted to hear me say that it is our intention to build an extension to the university library within the next 2 years. The University of Leicester has much to contribute. We hope you will continue to keep in touch with us and to encourage us in our endeavours. Finally, I would like to congratulate you all on the degrees you have obtained. The class of 2002 has maintained high standards. We hope you will keep in touch with the university, and I shall look forward to seeing you at alumni events in the future. But before I close, I would like you to join me in what has started to become a competition. That is, which faculty can applaud loudest and longest. Competition's very tough this year. We started with the Faculty of Medicine this morning, and I can tell you, you have got a real job on your hands, but I'm sure those of you in the Faculty of Science and the Faculty of Social Science will demonstrate to us very clearly in a minute or two that you are far better than the Faculty of Medicine and Biological Sciences at doing this, by joining me in showing your appreciation to your parents, relatives, friends and sponsors who have supported you through to this point in time that you are now graduating from the University of Leicester. So I would invite the graduating class of 2002 to join me in a round of applause for all of those people. Well, that's very good, but I think you're going to get a place lower in the league than first. But if you keep at it this afternoon, you could get a place higher in the table. Certainly, the main thing today is to have a really enjoyable day, applaud your fellow students, and all good wishes to you in your future careers.
Dame Julia Higgins has achieved great distinction as a scientist in the world of physical chemistry. She is a shining beacon to women who aspire to greatness in science, and even now devotes much of her energy to championing the development of women scientists. As a schoolgirl, Dame Julia actually disliked chemistry because she felt she could not get a satisfactory answer to the true scientist question, why? Physics presented no such challenge, and stimulated by a charismatic teacher, she went on to read physics at Oxford, not a popular option with women at that time. After success in her degree, her mind turned to postgraduate studies. The great fashion of the time drew her initially towards the study of elementary particles, but her tutor suggested an alternative. A friend of his, fresh from Australia, was working on a very new technique, neutron spectroscopy. Dame Julia applied the technique to the study of inclusion compounds, where one molecule is caged within another. The power of the technique became obvious very soon, and it became, together with her exceptional scientific talent, the propellant for much of Dame Julia's subsequent scientific career. On completing her DPhil, however, Dame Julia spent a while teaching physics at a grammar school. It didn't take her long to realize how much she missed the intellectual stimulus of research. With characteristic initiative, she wrote to the University of Manchester and was soon appointed to postdoctoral positions, applying neutron scattering techniques to the rapidly developing and highly relevant field of polymer science. At that time, the best facilities for work with neutrons were at a European centre in France. Dame Julia spent 4 years there, working with an international group of world-class scientists, and so built a formidable international reputation at an early stage of her career. By the mid-70s, Dame Julia's mentor from Manchester had moved to Imperial College, London, and he was quick to headhunt her to a permanent post at the institution which has remained her academic base ever since. He departed soon after, but Dame Julia was well equipped to build an independent scientific career and work steadily to enhance her international reputation. Her growing stature as an international scientist was recognised eventually in the UK with appointment to readership and rapidly thereafter a chair at Imperial. From then on, her rise has been meteoric. She has a massive list of publications in the most prestigious scientific journals, as well as books and other works. She's become Dean of the City and Guilds, the engineering arm of Imperial, and although not drawn to management, she enhanced the quality of research and teaching to a considerable degree. She's a fellow of many learned societies, and in 1995, she was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society, the real stamp of greatness in UK science. In 1996, she was awarded a CBE for her contributions, and then more recently made a Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire. Dame Julia has a major role as a scientific statesperson. She has a long history of service on national groups and committees, and she plays a major role in the research councils which determine policy and funding for research in engineering and physical sciences. She is president of the Institution of Chemical Engineers and the Foreign Secretary of the Royal Society, the face of British science abroad, so she spends much time travelling. The pace of her creative work in science has not, however, slackened. Her group at Imperial continue to study the behaviour of complex materials, in particular mixtures of polymers, using both the neutron scattering techniques she pioneered and others. The work is scientifically challenging and rigorous, but also exceptionally useful, given the wide range of applications of polymers in modern technology. Dame Julia is chair of the steering group for Athena, an organisation dedicated to advancing the interests of women scientists and promoting their career development. She uses her high profile to gain the attention of those in power and put in place better advice and support structures for women embarking on scientific careers. Dame Julia started her passion for science with the question, why? In an exceptionally distinguished career, she has proven her schoolgirl assumptions wrong. In chemistry, you can explain why. Mr. Vice-Chancellor, on the recommendation of Senate and Council, I present Dame Julia Stretton Higgins that you may confer upon her the Honorary Degree of Doctor of Science.
I admit you to the honorary degree of Doctor of Science and welcome you among us. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One doesn't always get the opportunity to reply on such occasions, and I'm very grateful that I do today, because I want to thank the university very much indeed for the honour it's just conferred on me. I spent a wonderful morning meeting some old friends among colleagues and making new friends and seeing some of the science that's going on here, and I'm looking forward to being part of this enterprise in the future as an honorary graduand. But today is yours, sitting in front of me here, as the Vice-Chancellor has already said. You are to be congratulated on what you've achieved, and it's a day to enjoy with all of your parents, and you've already applauded them. They've suffered with you through the 4 years, they've enjoyed the successes, and now they've reached the triumph of Degree Day. I think that's great. Not unnaturally, if you stand here and listen to your life unfolding before you, in very flattering terms, may I say, you look back, or I have looked back myself, to my own degree days, my first degree and my DPhil in Oxford. That was over a third of a century ago. It's a long time. And I was thinking about what I felt at that time. I knew nothing about all of these opportunities that were going to open before me. What I had were 2 degrees and the skills and expertise that those had given me, and an openness to the opportunities that were going to come. And I think that is where you are today. You have your qualifications, you have 3 or 4 years of expert work, you've studied, you've achieved much, and the world is open before you with all the opportunities it's going to offer, and you don't know what they are. The one thing you must do is take those opportunities when you come, and I'm sure you're going to do that. The world's your oyster, and I hope you're going to go out and take it and do with it what you can. Well done.
The graduands in the Faculty of Science will be presented by the Dean, Professor Fothergill. Will all graduands in the faculty please stand?
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I ask you to admit these candidates from the Faculty of Science to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Graduands of the Faculty of Science, by the authority of the Senate, I admit you to the several degrees for which you are presented.
For the Doctor of Philosophy degree, Rachel Burbridge.
You are admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations. Thank you.
Ranveer Dillon.
You are admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations.
Nicholas Francis.
You are admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations.
Fraser Kenyon.
You are admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations. Many congratulations.
Matthew Maher.
You are admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations.
Frederick Marley.
You are admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations.
Susanna O'Hanlon.
You are admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations.
Patricia Thompson.
You are admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations.
Hannah Townley.
You are admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations.
And Michelle Vale.
You are admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Geographical Information Systems, James Bateman.
Congratulations.
Egby Egwavoen.
Congratulations.
Helen Guest.
Congratulations.
Andrew Lord.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Museum Studies, Christopher Knapp.
Congratulations. Well done.
For the degree of Master of Geology in Geology, Anthony Bailey.
Congratulations. Well done.
The winner of the London Petrophysical Society Prize and the Rhoda Bennett Prize, Simon Baldock.
Congratulations and well done on winning these prizes. Very good.
Karen Colclough.
Congratulations. Well done.
Robert Duller.
Congratulations.
Fiona Endley.
Congratulations.
Alan Hasty.
Congratulations. Well done.
Claire Henman.
Congratulations. Well done.
Ruth Lilly.
Congratulations. Well done.
Alexandra Mills.
Congratulations.
The winner of the Mineralogical Society Award and the Paleontological Association Prize, Gary Shawley.
Congratulations and well done on winning the prizes.
Fiona Simmons.
Congratulations. You've got a fan club in here.
And the winner of the Dennis Field Award, Elizabeth Worsley.
Congratulations and well done on winning your prize.
For the degree of Master of Geology in Applied Geology, Robin Bernal.
Congratulations. Thank you.
The winner of the Rhoda Bennett Prize, James Blight.
Congratulations and well done on your prize.
The winner of the British Micromount Society Prize, the Institution of Mining and Metallurgy Prize, and the London Petrophysical Society Prize, Nicola Dodds.
Congratulations and congratulations on these prizes. That's really very good. What are you doing next time? Very good.
Neil Ford.
Congratulations.
And the winner of the BNOC Kanoko Golf Prize, James Holt.
Congratulations and well done on your prize.
For the degree of Master of Geology in Geophysics Geological, Robert Drew.
Congratulations.
The winner of the Shell Geophysics Prize 4th year and the Geology Departmental Prize, Gareth Morris.
Congratulations and congratulations on your 2 prizes. Well done.
For the degree of Master of Mathematics in Mathematics, Richard Bailey.
Congratulations. Well done.
Colin Bibb.
Congratulations.
Damien Brown.
Congratulations.
Nicola Burnett.
Congratulations. Well done.
Andrew Hannon.
Congratulations. Well done.
Rebecca Hill.
Congratulations. Well done.
Mark Hudson.
Congratulations. Well done.
The winner of the IMA Prize, Claire Irving.
Congratulations. Well done and well done on the prize. Congratulations.
The winner of the IMA Prize, Marie Vernon.
Congratulations and well done on your prize. Thank you.
Ben Watkins.
Congratulations.
And Peter Wright.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Mathematics in Mathematics with Astronomy, Hannah Green.
Congratulations. Well done.
Georgina Rowe.
Congratulations. Well done.
And David Underwood.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Physics in Physics, Mark Allen.
Congratulations.
And Simon Laird.
Congratulations. Thank you.
For the degree of Master of Physics in Physics with Astrophysics, Pui Lun Chung.
Congratulations.
Gareth Dixon.
Congratulations.
Mark Fuller.
Congratulations.
Jordan Harper.
Congratulations.
William Hartley.
Congratulations.
Louisa Kramer.
Congratulations.
Andrew Levan.
Congratulations.
Andrew McMullen.
Congratulations.
Mark Northeast.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Faculty Prize, Parimal Patel.
Congratulations and well done on your prize.
Anne-Marie Stobart.
Congratulations. Fine. Thank you.
And winner of the Phillips Prize for Physics, Stuart Whitehouse.
Congratulations and well done on your prize.
For the degree of Master of Physics in Physics with Space Science and Technology, Jade Banks.
Congratulations. Well done.
James Carpenter.
Congratulations.
Thomas Sharrett.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Veland Scholarship, Stephen Hills.
Congratulations.
Muna Naji.
Congratulations. Well done. Thank you.
Richard Neve.
Congratulations.
Stephen Smith.
Congratulations.
Yassi Subir.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Leicester Space Centre Scholarship, Richard Willis.
Congratulations and congratulations on the school.
And Thomas Withy.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Archaeology, Charlotte Bartlett.
Congratulations.
Stephen Bell.
Congratulations.
Peter Burns.
Congratulations.
Frankie Carpenter.
Congratulations. Well done.
Dominic Coulson.
Congratulations.
Jennifer Cross.
Congratulations.
Victoria Gilman.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Garner Prize, Janice Holmes.
Congratulations and well done on your prize. Thank you.
And Sarah Huntback.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Combined Studies, Saima Ali.
Congratulations. Well done.
Sarah Allen.
Congratulations.
Jitinda Barrier.
Congratulations. Well done.
Samantha Ben.
Congratulations. Well done.
Raymond Boughton.
Congratulations.
Catherine Bowes.
Congratulations.
Ross Chernin.
Congratulations.
Stephanie Connor.
Congratulations.
Janine Cox.
Congratulations, well done.
John Paul Crofton-Bewer.
Congratulations.
Kira Delgado.
Congratulations.
Ben Ennis.
Congratulations.
Emma French.
Congratulations.
Stuart Hempson-Jones.
Congratulations, well done.
Laura Holborough.
Congratulations.
Michael Holmes.
Congratulations.
Samantha Howgate.
Congratulations.
Russell Jackson.
Congratulations.
Jagjit Jutsley.
Congratulations.
Shaista Koza.
Congratulations.
Douglas Lyle.
Congratulations, well done.
Gordon McCumbee.
Congratulations, well done.
Uzma Maraza.
Congratulations, thank you.
Christina McGear.
Congratulations, well done.
Kajal Modvadia.
Congratulations.
Nicola Newsom.
Congratulations.
James Newson.
Congratulations.
Kamanisa.
Congratulations, thank you.
Sylvia Palamudian.
Congratulations, thank you.
Ben Powell.
Congratulations.
Victoria Radford.
Congratulations.
Daisy Reid.
Congratulations.
Hobinda Sandhu.
Congratulations.
Jackie Shannon.
Congratulations.
Elizabeth Slack.
Congratulations.
Louise Stewart.
Congratulations.
And Carol Watling.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Ian Bruce.
Congratulations.
David Bunting.
Congratulations, well done.
Chris Campbell-John.
Congratulations.
Stephanie Chan.
Congratulations.
Nicholas Coe.
Congratulations.
Mark Cooper.
Congratulations.
Richard Cunningham.
Congratulations.
Arjun Deo.
Congratulations.
Pritash Desai.
Congratulations.
Ranbir Diraj.
Congratulations.
William Duckworth.
Congratulations.
Mark Edmondson.
Congratulations.
Mark Edwards.
Congratulations.
James Ewan.
Congratulations.
Trevor Forster.
Congratulations.
Stuart Foxall.
Congratulations.
The winner of the Mathematics and Computer Science Departmental Prize and the May Computer Prize, Richard Geary.
Congratulations and very well done on the prizes. Well done.
Hale Grover.
Congratulations.
Andrew Haynes.
Congratulations.
Jonathan Harrow.
Congratulations. Well done.
Thomas Hawley.
Congratulations.
Graham Hay.
Congratulations.
James Hunter.
Congratulations.
Shayasta Hussain.
Congratulations.
Richard Johnson.
Congratulations.
Stephen Knott.
Congratulations.
Mark Lammercraft.
Congratulations.
Su Chien Lim.
Congratulations.
Raj Parkash.
Congratulations.
Joel Parr.
Congratulations.
Nanesh Patel.
Congratulations.
Shamim Patel.
Congratulations.
Amir Quasi.
Congratulations.
Ardeep Rai.
Congratulations.
Atul Saigal.
Congratulations.
Mats Sodergren.
Congratulations.
Raj Solanki.
Congratulations.
Matthew Stevenson.
Congratulations.
James Sumner.
Congratulations.
Enkiat Tan.
Congratulations.
Su Yi Tan.
Congratulations.
Joel Turvey.
Congratulations.
Glenn Waters.
Congratulations.
Robert Wadcock.
Congratulations.
Daniel Wolfe.
Congratulations.
Joseph Wotherspoon.
Congratulations. Well done.
And Jane Yao.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Geography, Elizabeth Annable.
Congratulations.
Paul Begley.
Congratulations.
David Brown.
Congratulations.
Emily Burgess.
Congratulations.
Julie Butt.
Congratulations.
Christian Castle.
Congratulations.
Stephen Chapman.
Congratulations. Well done.
Sarah Dobson.
Congratulations. Well done.
Matthew Doughty.
Congratulations.
Robert Drake.
Congratulations.
Helen Dweenan.
Congratulations.
Cheryl Elflane.
Congratulations.
Victoria Ellis.
Congratulations.
Nicola Eyre.
Congratulations.
Carmel Griffith.
Congratulations.
Winner of the William Kirk Prize, Nicola Jones.
Congratulations and well done on your prize.
Lucy Judkins.
Congratulations.
Thomas King.
Congratulations.
Oliver Matthews.
Congratulations.
Lee McMahon.
Congratulations.
Rebecca Miles.
Congratulations.
Victoria Milner.
Congratulations.
Natalie Myatt.
Congratulations.
Matthew Noonan.
Congratulations.
Winner of the John H. Patterson Prize, the Michael Reed Memorial Prize, the Bruce May Dissertation Prize, and the Norman Pye Prize, Matthew Porritt.
Congratulations, that's very good. And well done on winning all those prizes. Very good, well done.
Matthew Quinn.
Congratulations.
Claire Slater.
Congratulations.
Rachel Smith.
Congratulations.
Owen Thomas.
Congratulations.
Paul Thompson.
Congratulations.
Leanne Tipple.
Congratulations.
Vanessa Tucker.
Congratulations.
Emily Wilson.
Congratulations.
Jonathan Wood.
Congratulations.
And Michael Young.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Geography and Archaeology, Eleanor Bunford Jones.
Congratulations.
Daniel Giardiello.
Congratulations.
Luke Innocent.
Congratulations.
Stephen Judge.
Congratulations.
Adam Cueres.
Congratulations.
Nicola Morton.
Congratulations.
Victoria Power.
Congratulations.
Morwenna Rowlands.
Congratulations.
And Christopher Taylor.
Congratulations.
Our honorand Tasmin Little is regarded as one of the world's leading violinists. No less an authoritative source than the magazine The Strad has acclaimed her as one of the truly great performers of recent years, while among many others, Michael Kennedy in the Sunday Telegraph wrote that she is the finest violinist we have in Britain today. Born in London, Tasmin studied with Pauline Scott at the Yehudi Menuhin School of Music. Thereafter, she went on to gain her performance diploma at the Guildhall School of Music, where she won the gold medal before moving to Canada to conclude her studies privately with the masterclass teacher Laurent Fenive. The list of orchestras which Tasmin has worked with reads as a roll call of the world's greatest, including, to name but a few, the New York Philharmonic, the Berlin Symphony, the London Symphony, the Royal Philharmonic, and the Stockholm Philharmonic. Likewise, she has worked with conductors of international standing and repute, who have included Masur, Ashkenazi, Yavi, Slatkin, Menuhin, and Davis. Our honorand is in constant demand as a concerto soloist with a repertoire which includes nearly 50 concertos. She is recognized as a champion of recent works, having given several world premieres, including concertos by Dominique Muldowney, David Earle, Robert Saxton, Paul Barker, and most recently Stuart McRae's new violin concerto at the BBC Proms in 2001. Indeed, she has been a frequent performer at the Proms, having appeared 11 times at the Royal Albert Hall, perhaps remembered by most for her performance on The Last Night in 1995, this being broadcast to millions worldwide. Following a tour with the CBSO in 2000, she performed the Ligeti concerto to rapturous critical acclaim, prompting the Times, for example, to refer to Tasmin as a commanding soloist who was in total control. Its success has led her to be invited to perform the work with the Berlin Philharmonic and Sir Simon Rattle at the 2003 Salzburg Festival, and also at the Philharmonic in Berlin, and thereafter on tour in the USA. Prior to that, though, Tasmin will be appearing as a soloist in the Britten Violin Concerto at Vienna's Musikverein, and already her next 2 seasons are lined up with a grueling schedule of international engagements. Highlights of these include performing the Karlowitz Concerto with the Warsaw Philharmonic, the Nicholas Moore Concerto with both the Minnesota Orchestra and the Hong Kong Philharmonic. Fortunately for us, Tasmin will also be touring in the UK this season, where she will be appearing with the St. Petersburg Symphony Orchestra, as well as with the Ulster Orchestra, the London Mozart Pairs, the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra, the English Chamber Orchestra, and the BBC Symphony Orchestra. Fortunately, too, for those of us unable to obtain tickets, Tasmin has an extensive discography, with 19 recordings available for us to enjoy her beautiful talent, with the material ranging across Brahms, Sibelius, Dvorak, Lalo, Walton, and the Lark Ascending by Vaughan Williams. Reflecting her interest in new as well as established musical works, her latest recording is a premiere of Finzi's Violin Concerto, which was released to great critical acclaim, with one reviewer noting that this is absolutely her repertoire. Perhaps for more than any other composer, our honorand has established herself as an international authority and outstanding interpreter of the work of Frederick Delius. From her time as a student at the Guildhall School of Music in the 1980s, Tasmin had felt that there was an unknown and intentionally buried secret in Delius's life, a secret which is prerequisite to any full appreciation of his music. She detected a yearning quality in Delius's musical language and came to the view that this related to a lost, passionate love in the composer's life. Initially, Tasmin's views were questioned by some. However, subsequent careful archival and historical research has vindicated her view with incontrovertible evidence that Delius did indeed yearn for his lost love and their secret love child. Tasmin's fascinating insight and the subsequent research which took place have now featured in a BBC documentary, The Lost Child, which was screened in February of this year. Delius came from Bradford, England, and it is therefore fitting that following a fundraising event given by Tasmin in 1999, the University of Bradford named their music centre after her. Prior to that, in 1996, in recognition of her immense achievements, Tasmin was made a Fellow of the Guildhall School of Music. Furthermore, as a hallmark of the high esteem in which he is held at the highest levels of the sphere of music, the Royal Academy has loaned her the priceless Regent Stradivarius to complement her own magnificent 1757 Guadagnini violin. Today, it is our turn to honour this truly outstanding, dedicated and brilliantly talented musician, and it is a very great pleasure to welcome her here today. Mr. Vice-Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and the Council, I present Tasmin Little that you may confer upon her the honorary degree of Doctor of Music.
I admit you to the honorary degree of Doctor of Music and welcome you among us. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Julian Boone for the very kind things that he's just said about me. And also, I would like to offer my very sincerest congratulations to all of the graduates here today on their outstanding achievements and wish you a very enjoyable rest of your day. I've always believed strongly in the power of music to help us understand our emotions, to inspire us, to heal us, and to restore a balance. However, it has become fashionable during recent years, and particularly in this country, to denigrate the role of classical music and to label any higher form of art as elite. It seems that we've lost faith in classical music as a means of relevant expression and have begun to try to dress it up into a more populist style. While I know that classical music can lend itself to these extra dimensions without harm, it would be very wrong to continue to do this at the expense of more traditional styles of performance. I passionately believe in the power of classical music to overcome any barrier, language, cultural or social, and during the course of my work, I have witnessed this power time and time again. One of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had was when I played to 850 young black school children in a deprived area outside Bulawayo in Zimbabwe. Their inherent open attitude towards music of every kind allowed them to experience my concert without preconception and mistrust. And not one of them came up to me afterwards and said that they didn't understand the music that I played to them. During my concert, I asked the children if they had any questions for me, and 850 hands shot up into the air. Their questions were wide-ranging and enchanting. And afterwards, scores of children ran up to me, telling me that they wanted to learn to play the violin and asking how it could be done. No one suggested that if I were to put a rock beat to the music, it would be much more accessible and far less boring. But the whole foundation of our future audiences depends on education. If we simply assume that young people will find nothing of value in, for instance, a Tchaikovsky symphony, we neglect to give them the education that they deserve and consign whole generations to a future without experiences that may enrich their whole lives. We would not dream in this country of undervaluing the benefit of teaching school children about a Shakespeare play, with all its subtleties, humour and tragedy. No one suggests that we give it a beat or change the language in order to liven it up a little. So I firmly believe that education is the critical factor in ensuring that classical music remains as vital and important a part of our lives this century as it has been for the past 4 centuries. And this is why I value so highly this honorary degree of Doctor of Music, which is presented to me today. I would like to express my sincerest thanks to the University of Leicester for this award, which I accept with the utmost gratitude. Thank you.
The remaining graduands in the Faculty of Science will now be presented by the Dean, Professor Fothergill.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Geology, Jonathan Archibald.
Congratulations.
David Bulmer.
Congratulations.
Michael Dickin.
Congratulations.
Kelvin Eady.
Congratulations.
Stephen Etches.
Congratulations.
Timothy Fielder.
Congratulations.
Winner of the BNOC Kanoko Golf Prize, Rachel Fisher.
Congratulations and well done on your prize.
Shelley Goodall.
Congratulations.
Claire Haynes.
Congratulations.
Richard Hayes.
Congratulations.
Laura Jerome.
Congratulations.
Laura Jordan.
Congratulations.
Alan Kirk.
Congratulations.
Jason Lang.
Congratulations.
Alice Little.
Congratulations.
Elizabeth Mocker.
Congratulations.
Andrew Paulson.
Congratulations.
Lawrence Ridges.
Congratulations. Fine,
Craig Rogers.
congratulations.
Benjamin Smith.
Congratulations.
Christopher Walker.
Congratulations.
Stephen Warriner.
Congratulations.
Thomas Wood.
Congratulations.
And Tina Wright.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Applied Geology, Emmanuel Boitetto.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Geophysics Geological, Ben Barnwell.
Congratulations.
Euthemios Euthemiou.
Congratulations.
Oliver Francis. I guess that was the wrong way around.
Congratulations.
Timothy Nicol.
Congratulations.
And Gareth Peter.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, Richard Bounds.
Congratulations.
Elise Boxall.
Congratulations.
David Bryce.
Congratulations.
Anthony Bromley.
Congratulations.
George Cleaver.
Congratulations.
Paul Cooper.
Congratulations.
Elizabeth Dolan.
Congratulations.
Bethany Doughty.
Congratulations. Thank you.
John Fox.
Congratulations.
Jonathan Hopkins.
Congratulations.
Ben Kane.
Congratulations.
Gareth Lewis.
Congratulations.
Stephanie Lloyd.
Congratulations.
Hema Mystery.
Congratulations.
AJ Patel.
Congratulations.
Reena Patel.
Congratulations.
Adam Peart.
Congratulations.
Carl Quest.
Congratulations.
Timothy Roast.
Congratulations.
Atiq Shafiq.
Congratulations.
Helen Sides.
Congratulations.
And Katie Wakeman.
Congratulations. I found one.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics USA, Robert Lelliot.
Congratulations. Well done.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics with Astronomy, Andrew Quinn.
Congratulations.
Christopher Sloggett.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Computer Science, Michael Bunting.
Congratulations.
Helen Digby.
Congratulations.
James Gahan.
Congratulations.
Emma Hurdle.
Congratulations.
Stephen Johnson.
Congratulations.
Jeff Price.
Congratulations.
And Benjamin Stanley.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Computer Science Europe, Taranjeet Lali.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics, Philip Cairns.
Congratulations.
Jonathan Flower.
Congratulations.
Samuel McCartney.
Congratulations.
And Adam Pinnington.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics with Astrophysics, Laura Benham.
Congratulations.
Alex Burdett.
Congratulations.
Adam Lloyd.
Congratulations.
Emily Perkins.
Congratulations.
Mark Silkston.
Congratulations.
And Mark Sturgis.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics with Space Science and Technology, Martin Archer.
Congratulations. Well done.
Stuart Farlow.
Congratulations.
Kevin Giles.
Congratulations.
Alex Manning.
Congratulations. Well done.
Peter O'Brien.
Congratulations.
James Randall.
Congratulations.
Edward Reynolds.
Congratulations.
Paul Richardson.
Congratulations.
And Harjinder Sembi.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics with Medical Physics, Ruth Jones.
Congratulations.
The winner of the Samuel and Rachel May Prize in Physics, Baris Canber.
Congratulations and very well done on your prize.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Archaeology, Kieran Smith.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Geography, Kieran Doyle.
Congratulations.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I ask you to admit to the several degrees for which they are presented by my faculty those candidates who are absent.
By the authority of the Senate, I admit those candidates who are absent to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Graduands in the Faculty of the Social Sciences will be presented by the Dean, Dr. Nagreen. Will all graduands in the faculty please stand?
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I ask you to admit these candidates from the Faculty of the Social Sciences to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Graduands of the Faculty of the Social Sciences, by the authority of the Senate, I admit you to the several degrees for which you are presented.
For the degree of Master of Arts in Social Work, Afsana Bhagwan.
Congratulations.
Kalpa Bhatt.
Congratulations.
Irvin Bayer.
Congratulations. Well done.
Stephen Clayton.
Congratulations. Well done.
Janine Daniel.
Congratulations.
Rosalie Eadson.
Congratulations.
Katie Fox.
Congratulations.
Christine Freeman.
Congratulations.
Anne-Marie Fennell.
Congratulations.
Teresa Geary.
Congratulations.
Rupinder Gill.
Congratulations.
Laura Gilliver.
Congratulations.
Sarah Heath.
Congratulations. Well done.
Joanne Hines.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Rebecca Knowles.
Congratulations.
Joanne Mangan.
Congratulations.
Melanie Morris.
Congratulations. Well done.
Meenakshi Patel.
Congratulations.
Bernadette Rule.
Congratulations.
Paula Sandham.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Yasmin Sandhu.
Congratulations.
Alison Staines.
Congratulations.
Alison Wise.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Applied Criminology, Paul McChrystal.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Criminal Justice and Police Management, Ahmed Al-Rashidi.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Criminal Justice Studies, Carmen Borg.
Congratulations. Well done.
Civil Lloyd Morris.
Congratulations.
Audrey Purtell.
Congratulations. Well done.
For the degree of Master of Science in Geography, John Clayton.
Congratulations. Well done.
Janice Edwards.
Congratulations. Well done.
Lisa McCrindle.
Congratulations. Well done.
Richard White.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Public Order Studies, Samuel Adeyemi Ogunjan Ilusi.
Congratulations. Well done.
For the degree of Master of Science in Risk, Crisis and Disaster Management, Grace Kindy.
Congratulations. Well done.
Andrew McFarlane.
Congratulations. Well done.
Lewis McGuinness.
Congratulations.
John Noon.
Congratulations. Well done.
Matt Walker.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Security and Crime Risk Management, Carol Ward.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Security and Risk Management, Joseph Cohn.
Congratulations.
Ellis Ujure.
Congratulations.
Sue Pryor.
Congratulations.
Graham Irwin.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Security Management, Stephen Nelson.
Congratulations.
Barbara Smith.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in the Study of Security Management, Marion Blackburn.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Geography, Nicholas Bangham.
Congratulations.
Thomas Bradshaw.
Congratulations.
Michael Clark.
Congratulations.
Helen Clark.
Congratulations.
Kelly Coates.
Congratulations.
William Dixon.
Congratulations.
Elsa Edwards.
Congratulations.
Lindsay Fair.
Congratulations.
Amy Furman.
Congratulations.
Gareth Hall.
Congratulations.
Gemma Hall.
Congratulations.
Charmaine Healy.
Congratulations.
Martin Headley.
Congratulations.
Benjamin Jones.
Congratulations.
Anna Mason.
Congratulations.
Ian McCausland.
Congratulations.
John Myrna.
Congratulations.
Lindsay O'Grady.
Congratulations.
Simon Paris.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thomas Powell.
Congratulations.
Ruth Pugh.
Congratulations.
Hayden Punter.
Congratulations.
Francis Smith.
Congratulations.
Darrell Stothard.
Congratulations.
Tim Vorley.
Congratulations.
Katie Walmisley.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Geography and Economic and Social History, Simon Bowden.
Congratulations.
Stuart Field.
Congratulations.
Richard Jackson.
Congratulations.
David Munnelly.
Congratulations.
Kulsum Osman.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Security Management, Christine Holden.
Congratulations.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I ask you to admit to the several degrees for which they are presented by my faculty those candidates who are absent.
By the authority of the Senate, I admit those candidates who are absent to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, graduates of the University of Leicester, ladies and gentlemen, degrees are like false teeth. They're very useful to have, but not that obvious when you look at the person who has them. I'd like to begin these closing comments by adding my congratulations and those of the staff of the university to all of you who've received degrees this afternoon. In the case of our distinguished honorary graduates, it is one of the good things about a university that it can recognise in this way the achievements of those who've contributed to society, whether it is in business, the community or academia. It is worth reflecting that the knowledge of our honorary graduates this afternoon gives them weight. Their achievements give them lustre. We have not weighed their knowledge, we've noticed their shine. It is their visible achievements we're celebrating. Indeed, the university is honoured that Professor Dame Julia Higgins and Dr. Tasmin Little consented to accept the degrees we've conferred upon them today, and it gives us great pleasure to welcome them to our academic community. To the graduates, to the graduates in the body of the hall, you've gained your degrees in a different way. You've studied over 1, 3 or more years, and your graduation today represents in every case a significant personal success. As well as your family and friends, the staff of the university also share and rejoice in your achievement. In their worst moments, some of the staff will have thought of that extraordinary definition of education as the process of casting false pearls before real swine. But they will have more often have rejoiced, as Jacob Bronowski did, that students bring a certain ragamuffin barefoot irreverence to their studies. You've not been here to worship what is known, but to question it. We hope you will continue to ask questions throughout your lives. If you came to us from school and it is your first degree, you can go forward with some comfort. You may have some debts, but a survey of East Midlands graduates has shown recently that on average, at around age 35, you can expect to earn about 48% more than your non-graduate peers, and by age 45, about 86% more. Some of you may feel at this point that one of the ultimate advantages of an education is simply coming to the end of it. This feeling was encapsulated by a student colleague of mine on another subject when she said, "It is a pity that Latin is no longer taught in school. It removes the infinite pleasure of giving it up." But in this fast-changing world, your studies may not stop with today's degree. Remember the words of Pope John Paul I, who said, "If someone told me I would be Pope one day, I would have studied harder." You may need to expand, revise, or change the direction of your learning. If you do remember that this university is a major provider of postgraduate courses. As the Vice-Chancellor said, the university greatly values its contacts with its graduates, and we hope you will stay in touch with us and with those whom you have studied through the Alumni Association. We rely on the support of our graduates in many ways. Not least, we hope you've enjoyed your time here and will tell others about the University of Leicester. To the many parents and friends in the hall, we hope you've enjoyed the day. Your support and encouragement in all its forms has been of the utmost importance to our students and indeed to us. You will be rightly proud of the successes of those we've awarded degrees to today. We hope you have a wonderful celebration. University is about all kinds of things, not only study, but also learning from making mistakes. Albert Einstein once commented, "Anyone who's never made a mistake has never tried anything new." It is about learning independence, learning to teach yourselves. It is about appreciating other points of view and other cultures. It is about learning tolerance and consideration. This is the very stuff of civilization and of peace. Finally, as you leave this ceremony today, let me tell you that in America and some other parts of the world, this occasion is not known as a degree ceremony, but as a commencement. You are now entering a new phase in your lives. Empowered by your education, as our honorary graduate Julia Higgins pointed out, you will make choices that will impact on your own lives and on the lives of others. We wish you every success.
So this brings us to the end of this afternoon's proceedings, but I think before we go, just one more occasion for the class of 2002 to say congratulations and to have one big round of applause. That puts you in competition with the medics this morning. I now declare this congregation closed.